Headphone hard work wins, an inspiring motivational story in English, success through struggle. Soft piano music fades in, gentle, emotional tones. A calm narrator's voice begins. Introduction. They say success is never given, it's earned. Not through luck, not through shortcuts, but through sleepless nights, broken dreams, and the courage to start again. This is the story of Arjun Mehta, a boy born in a small village, who had nothing but a burning desire to rise above his circumstances. To prove that hard work truly wins. So close your eyes, relax your mind, and let me take you on a journey of dreams, despair, and triumph. Chapter 1. The Boy from the Fields. Arjun grew up in a remote village in northern India, where the air smelled of wet earth and the fields stretched endlessly under the golden sun. His father was a farmer, his mother a homemaker. They lived in a small clay house with a leaking roof, and every monsoon, water would drip onto the floor as thunder rolled in the distance. Despite the poverty, Arjun's eyes sparkled with something rare, hope. Every morning, before sunrise, he helped his father plow the fields barefoot, his feet sinking into the cold mud. And after hours of work, he would run miles to reach his school. A tiny building with broken benches and no electricity. But even in that dim classroom, Arjun's heart burned with light. He dreamed of becoming an engineer, to build machines that could help farmers like his father. His teacher once asked, "Arjun, why do you study so hard?" He smiled and said, "Because I want my father to rest someday." Chapter 2. The struggle begins. When Arjun turned 17, life tested him. His father fell ill, the crops failed due to drought, and their debts grew heavier than their hopes. Arjun was forced to make a decision, to stay and work the land, or to leave for the city in search of something better. He packed a small bag, tucked his mother's blessing into his pocket, and boarded a crowded bus to Delhi. With just 500 rupees and a head full of dreams. The city was merciless. He slept under bridges, ate stale bread, and washed dishes in a roadside dhaba just to survive. But every night, after his shift, he would sit by the roadside under a flickering streetlight, and open his old school books. He studied until his eyes grew heavy, until the world around him disappeared. His coworkers laughed. They said, "Books won't fill your stomach." But Arjun whispered to himself, "Maybe not today, but one day, they will change my life." Chapter 3. The Road to Failure. After 2 years of struggle, Arjun applied for the National Engineering Entrance Exam. He worked double shifts, barely slept, and studied in secret between washing dishes and serving tea. When the results came, he failed. He stared at the computer screen in silence. His heart shattered. He walked aimlessly through the streets that night, the city lights blurring with his tears. For a moment, he wanted to give up. But then, he remembered his mother's words. "Greater than, son, God tests the strongest with the hardest battles." He clenched his fists, took a deep breath, and said to himself, "Next year, I will win." Chapter 4. Rising Again. The next 365 days were a storm of sacrifice. Arjun worked harder than ever before. He saved every rupee, bought second-hand books, and studied wherever he could. On bus stops, footpaths, and under the streetlight that became his silent friend. He learned to fight hunger with determination, and exhaustion with purpose. Sometimes, he would fall asleep on his books, his head resting on dreams that refused to die. And then, the day came again. The exam day. He walked into the hall with trembling hands, but a fire in his eyes. He wrote every answer like it was his last chance. Weeks passed, and then, the results came. This time, he didn't fail. He didn't just pass. He ranked among the top 500 students in the entire country. He had done it. The boy who once plowed fields barefoot was now an engineering student in one of India's best universities. Chapter 5. Success through struggle. College life wasn't easy. Arjun was surrounded by students from wealthy families, with laptops, smartphones, and everything he never had. But he had something they didn't. Hunger. A hunger to change his destiny. He studied relentlessly, won scholarships, and even worked part-time tutoring other students to pay his fees. 4 years later, He graduated with honors. When he stood on the stage in his graduation gown, he looked up and whispered, "Papa, this is for you." And life came full circle when a multinational company offered him a job. He returned to his village, not as the poor farmer's son, but as an engineer with a dream fulfilled. He built a new house for his parents, installed solar panels in the village, and started a small foundation to help poor children study for free. Chapter 6. The Message. Years later, a journalist asked him, "Arjun, what's the secret behind your success?" He smiled gently and said, "There is no secret. There is only hard work, patience, and faith. I didn't have money, I didn't have connections, but I had belief. Every day I told myself, if I fall 7 times, I'll rise 8. He paused, looked into the distance, and added, "Hard work doesn't just build careers. It builds character, and character never fails." Conclusion. Soft music returns, hopeful, calm, inspiring. So if you're struggling right now, if life feels heavy, and your dreams seem too far away, remember Arjun's story. Remember that no mountain is too high, no storm too strong, for a heart that refuses to give up. Because in the end, hard work always wins. Music fades slowly, the narrator's voice softens to a whisper. Thank you for listening. If this story inspired you, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and share this with someone who needs a reminder that their dreams are still possible. Good night, and never stop believing in yourself. Crescent Moon. Movie Camera YouTube title. Hard work wins, an inspiring motivational story in English. Success through struggle. Scroll description. This is the powerful true-to-life story of Arjun Mehta, a poor boy who proved that no dream is too big when your heart refuses to give up. A 1+hour motivational story about faith, determination, and the strength of the human spirit. Perfect for bedtime inspiration or deep reflection. Remember, hard work always wins. Headphone subscribe for more inspirational stories that move your soul. Fire. Stay motivated. Stay unstoppable. Label hashtags. Hashtag motivational story, hashtag inspiring story, hashtag hard work wins, hashtag success through struggle, hashtag never give up, hashtag life lesson, hashtag bedtime story, hashtag motivation, hashtag story in English, hashtag history for sleep. Key keywords. Tags. Motivational story in English, inspiring story, success through struggle, hard work story, never give up, success motivation, real life story, motivational bedtime story, English story for sleep, hard work wins, inspirational English story, success story, emotional story, history for sleep.